Some of the priciest boomerang-eyed, kiwi bird-looking McLarens have found their way into these superstars' garages. In 1999, young Elon took delivery of a $1 million 1997 one of 64 McLaren F1 road car. Only 3 years after having had to sleep and shower at the YMCA, the South African entrepreneur rewarded himself with a car from the world's second most successful Formula One team, after Ferrari, of course. The silver F1 was one of the fastest production cars in the world at the time, being able to hit an impressive top speed of 240 miles an hour, and so fit in perfectly in Silicon Valley. He drove it from LA to San Fran as his daily driver on the 405. He put 11,000 miles on it and wrecked it in the year 2000 on Sand Hill, showing off to his friend Peter Thiel. You know, the guy who helped him start PayPal. And like a good Californian, he didn't even have insurance. Well, money can't buy good driving. And this car today could be worth 20 times what it was. A 95 F1 with 240 miles on the odometer just sold at auction in Pebble Beach for $20,465,000. Lucky for Elon, in 2021, he is the world's richest man with a net worth of $261 billion and doesn't really need the extra cash. Still though, it's kind of like when Kurt Russell accidentally smashed that $40K antique Martin guitar on the set of Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. You know, sometimes people just don't know what they had, and there is no going back. Best believe Canadian tuxedo-wearing Jay Leno would lay down his own life before ever letting one of his McLarens get hurt. His most prized, a $12 million 1994 McLaren F1, is the most expensive car on this list, and this wealthy comic's third most valuable car, after his $20 million 1934 Duesenberg Walker Coupe and priceless 2006 EcoJet. Some people would call the McLaren F1 the greatest car ever made. And it's based on the McLaren GTR that outright won the 24-hour Le Mans, one of the world's most prestigious and challenging endurance races, on its first attempt. Racing is something the funny man takes very seriously, so you could safely conclude that his F1 is in very loving hands. The stand-up comedian also has a yellow 1.35 mil 2014 McLaren P1. David Beckham bends the corners on the highways in his $320,000 McLaren MP4 12C Spider, one of soccer's first major celebs. Beckham retired from the sport most of the world calls football in 2013. We're sure he really misses the thrill of game day, and that's where the 12C comes in. Booting down the LA freeways with its 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8 is probably as close as he comes to the thrill of playing in stadiums with 100,000 fans screaming his name. Not a bad substitute, though. McLaren drivers have said that the outside world melts away when you're inside one, and time sort of stops and then speeds up again when you get out to catch up. Sort of like playing pro sports, I guess. When he cruises around Beverly Hills in his black convertible, People magazine's 2015 Sexiest Man Alive is one of the few McLaren drivers that people won't be looking at because of the car. His wife, former Spice Girl Victoria Beckham, must be very proud. Father of four has a second McLaren, a $330,000 Supernova Silver McLaren 720S, which displaces from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds. It takes a lot of speed to thrill the man that used to be able to kick a soccer ball at up to 98 miles per hour. So, looks like McLaren is the car company to do the job. Beyonce is crazy in love with her $455,000 Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. With only 2,157 of these kicking around worldwide, this gorgeous race car is one of the most coveted works of art in the world, like its owner. It's a collaboration between the Formula One British team, Mercedes-Benz, and McLaren, and had major league thrill seekers in mind when they concocted its hand-built 5.9-liter engine. Its butterfly doors and keyless entry make for a very attractive package for someone looking to boost their social status. Like Beyonce really needs that. Car payments would linger around $10,000 a month for the SLR. Selling out stadiums helps quite a bit with the car note. Just ask fellow McLaren owners Kanye West and The Weeknd. Hey, now that you think of it, no wonder those three always do songs together. Birds of a McLaren feather flock together. Oh yes, Kanye West, aka Yeezy, aka Ye, has a McLaren too. Not gonna lie, he's outdoing Beyonce a little by having the $882,000 Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren Stirling Moss Edition. What does that mean? Well, for one, more money, $427,000 more than Beyonce's regular SLR. For two, it's a lot rarer, one of only 75. It's one of McLaren's first street cars and still has that wow factor when it rolls by. I mean, it's got no windshield. The wind in your face keeps your ego in check. Not a bad thing for Kanye. Uniquely, its exhaust comes out on the sides, just behind the front wheel like a hot rod. And in case you didn't know, the Stirling Moss Edition is named after one of the greatest Formula One drivers of all time. He won the Mille Miglia in a 300 SL SLR in 1955. The Louis Vuitton Don must want to connect with that greatness. Probably the same reason he's trying to get back with Kim Kardashian. Oh yeah, and he does have a 2007 SLR as well, which he used to share with his better half. You know who else has an SLR in his entourage? Ye's old buddy Donald Trump. The Weeknd went from homeless to Forbes list, and now with $200 million in his bank account, he wants everyone around to know it. The Canadian R&B sensation gets around in a $1.5 million McLaren P1. He drives the limited run, one of 375 McLaren in his music video for Starboy on Mulholland Drive while crooning P1 cleaner than your church shoes. Well, that's very comforting for neat freaks. Its 903 horses displaces from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, so he can get to the studio right quick. And if you think this is a rental, it isn't. The Weeknd has good credit. And if you think it's an endorsed product placement, it isn't that either. The Super Bowl halftime show performer did all of this on his own volition. Lucky for McLaren, because that Starboy music video has been viewed almost 2 billion times on YouTube. Furthermore, in his music video for Sidewalks, you can see him driving it again. He probably shot both videos on the same day. Smart move. More money for more McLarens. Ralph Lauren has kept yuppies feeling rich with his polos since 1968 and rewarded himself handsomely when he bought a $10 million 1995 McLaren F1 LM. That amount of cash ain't pennies to him, but with a net worth of $7.1 billion, yeah, it is quite affordable. The F1 LM is so fast that it's essentially a track car, so you need a special permit to get this baby on the road. 0 to 60 in 3.9 at a top speed of 229 miles per hour makes this speed demon quite remarkable. Even more special than that, it's one of the 5 McLarens built in commemoration of the 5 McLaren F1 GTRs that completed and finished the 1995 24 Hours of Le Mans and took the win. And so the LM stands for Le Mans. The papaya orange color, butterfly doors, and 1990s exotic supercar look make the fashion aficionado stand out, even on highways and driveways full of standouts. Just like the way his customers are supposed to feel when they wear one of his hand-stitched $500 Preppy Bear polo sweaters. Gordon Ramsay has stellar automotive taste. Back in 2016, he bought his first McLaren, a $349,000 675 LT. Turns out it was a gateway drug for him to bigger, better, meaner McLarens. The chef with the 3 Michelin star rated palate and the acid tongue accrued a lot more cash and a real need for speed after wearing out the tires on his 675 Longtail. With a net worth of $225 million, Gordon easily adds another McLaren to his stable, a $1.1 million black with yellow trim 2019 McLaren Senna. It is one of only 500 ever made. He describes driving it on the track like driving the fastest roller coaster you've ever been on. After taking a high-octane spin on a UK track, he had to crawl out of his car, physically and emotionally overwhelmed by the G-force. I'll bet he kisses his Senna goodnight every night before dreaming of recipes and new ways to throw chicken. The limited production mid-engineer is named after the world-famous Brazilian Formula One driver, Ayrton Senna. The 35-time F1 Grand Prix winner unfortunately lost his life in the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, but his spirit and essence live on in the McLaren Ultimate Series, along with the F1 and P1. The great chef must connect on a very deep level to Ayrton Senna's high-speed quest for greatness, and we imagine that's why he bought it. McLaren is still a relatively new car company, and only took 4.5 years from its inception to turn a profit. Not only do they have stellar quality cars and an impeccable racing history, but they are also easy to drive, even for celebrities with no real racing experience at all.